Modern legislators perform a myriad of functions and roles which derive from their constitutional position in a democracy. We believe that democratic norms must be fully employed in protecting the interests, safety, and welfare of the people. It is therefore in its quest to execute this function that a Committee on Petroleum Resources downstream of the House of Representatives is set up to carry out the functions already stated above. I want to assure you all that this committee under our watch, will ensure that the right thing is done at all times. The Committee on Petroleum Resources downstream of the 10th House of Representatives is going to be a committee with the interests of the people at heart, and a committee that will put the interests of the nation forward in all its consideration, especially the quest for energy security. This committee will legislate for energy security. This committee will carry out its function in all with high level of professionalism in the petroleum sector. We will focus on economic transformation, accountability, institutional reforms, and revenue recovery and generation, with a specific goal of helping the federal government to recover the over $20 billion revenue from the sector that have not been remitted. I have no doubt that the caliber of membership we have, the committee will deliver on its mandate and achieve its aim, its objective and projection. Let me also urge the various stakeholders in the petroleum sector to cooperate with our committee in the discharge of our functions and be open to positive changes where necessary. We are not going to victimize anybody. We won't witch hunt anyone, but we will certainly do our work with a deep sense of service to the nation. As every early remittance of federal revenues and recovery of unremitted revenues is part of the things that we are going to focus on in the coming days. And it's also very important that we let it known to Nigerians that we feel the pains that Nigerians are going through as a result of the removal of the subsidy regime. That regime had to go because it was corrupted. And that is why the downstream committee of the House of Representatives on Petroleum Resources will do a comprehensive, and we repeat, a comprehensive audit of the PMS subsidy regime, the beneficiaries of the payment, rendering account on all loan transactions, the pre-export financing arrangement, and other loan arrangement in exchange for crude will be extensively reviewed and investigated. The direct sale, direct purchase, using the crude to bring in the PMS and other value chain associated with them will also be reviewed. And this committee will be working closely with our brother committees in the upstream, in the midstream, in gas, petroleum training fund, and other petroleum-related committees to also help us achieve our set objective. The implementation of the PIA, which has become a major concern to key stakeholders, will be reviewed by this committee. What was done before the PIA, what they are doing after the PIA, the assets that used to be national assets before the coming into effect of the PIA, where are they, who is with them, all these things the committee will look into to ensure that the intention of the PIA is achieved. One of that intention is to ensure that there is energy security and competition in the downstream sector. But if you come now, you see that NNPC is not the major importer of PMS. That is not the intention of the PIA. The PIA has envisaged a situation where numerous downstream operators would have been involved in the importation of the of PMS. That we also look into. We intend to use our legislative powers to help solve our nation's energy problem, create healthy competition in the industry as envisaged by the PIA, create job opportunities, and stabilize the forest market. Because if today the downstream sector is functioning very effective, there will be no need for us to be running around looking for forests to import PMS, which is now creating instability in our forest market. Now, another issue of concern of recent is that we have started getting reports that most of the modular refineries are ready for operation, and there is challenges of domestic crude supply. The PIA made provisions for domestic crude supply to those modular refineries and all our local refineries. As a matter of, it has a constitutional provision, is a law. And today we are receiving messages that most of these smuggler refineries, whether even the general refineries, Dangote and so on and so forth, may not be able to get the required domestic supply they will need. This, they say, is caused by most of this pre-financing and loan for PMS and crude swap and so on and so forth. This committee is going to look into it to ensure that there is adequate domestic crude supply to the domestic refineries to ensure that we will achieve energy security. And let me also inform you that, as you are already aware, the House has received in plenary the NATI 2021 report that have far-reaching recommendations both in the downstream, the upstream, and the midstream sector, especially the issue of over $8.5 billion unremitted royalties and other oil revenues, and the discrepancies that has to do with the quantity of PMS imported by the NNPCL and what is in the record of NNDPRA. The House has set up a joint committee that involves our committee in downstream and upstream and midstream to look into the issue. In the coming weeks, we will start looking into these issues to help resolve all these issues.